And a very good morning to you. By golly, we got so tucked into what we were doing this morning, we didn't notice the time going by. And we forgot to put the plug in for the power. Anyway, all's well, I think, now. It ends well. And later on, at 10 o'clock this morning, we are going to have... go on. That's not working now. We're going to have Melissa Conti from New York, who's going to do a special interview. And we're looking forward to that. In between time, we've got one or two other little things that we've got to do. We had a pretty heavy day yesterday, and for that matter, a pretty heavy week. And one way or another, we've had to go at just about everybody and everything. And we battened down the doors so that if they want to come back at us, take it gently. Take it gently. Right. Here we go. Yes, we've got the papers up. So we can get cracking and move on for this first half hour. I'm Keith Hayes. This is Mirador Television, and we're broadcasting from the White Hart Hotel in Lewis, and I'm happy to say that it's a half decent day outside. It's going to reach 17 degrees, I think, which is pretty high. Right now, it's 12 degrees and mostly sunny. And all in all, it's going to lead to a bay of brilliant sunshine tomorrow. So who knows what we might, face for the weekend. Rather good, actually. I think rather good. We got anything here? No, we haven't. But nonetheless, we are ready to go. I assure you, we are ready to go. And let's tell you who we are, or remind you who we are. Mirador, that's who we are. Mirador Television, coming out of the White Hart Hotel in Lewis, East Sussex. Local but not parochial, broadcasting to the world as well as our own backyard. So what we'll do is start to look at the newspapers and their front pages. The Metro, it actually has a very funny. A very funny front page. It says, "E.I. Adio, we've done the cup." But what it's really talking about, what the story is about, is the fact that the unions have decided to pull strikes to affect as many of the things that give us pleasure as they possibly can. They are trying to ruin the cup final, and they're going to try and ruin. Let's see what are the other things that they're going to do, the cup final and Eurovision in Liverpool, and the Ukrainians visiting the event is going to be affected, and it's going to. Let's see what else. There's one other thing: the FA Cup, Wembley, right, and the strike has hit Yes. Well, those two things anyway, and a number of other things which we'll try to catch up as we go through taking a look at the papers. And the other thing that the newspaper says is that TV host Jerry Springer, very controversial guy, and been a face on television for 2 decades probably, has died, and he's age 79, and his famous sign-off was "Goodbye and take care of yourself and each other." And certainly he used to wind people up, so they were taking good care of each other. That's for damn sure. But there we go. Off the metro, we've got the strikes, but also Jerry Springer going. It actually seems to be a year in which celebrities are passing on pretty damn regularly, and Springer is the last in a row of people that have popped their clogs, as it were. Perhaps it's something to do with the number of the year or something. I have no idea. But anyway, the Daily Express, just how cynical can rail unions be? And so that paper also has a go at the trade unions for interrupting everything, and it's not being taken very kindly, their action to call strikes to affect some of the things that give everybody a great deal of pleasure. Who are they aiming at? That's me asking. That's not the paper. But the paper says how cynical can they be, and the Express reports their plans to wreak havoc on some of the nation's best loved events is unconscionable. It also shows a picture of a smiley Princess of Wales, and showing her abseiling in the Welsh countryside. Well. The Daily Mail, vindictive, it says. Vindictive. The rail unions plan to specifically target fans going to some of the biggest events of the coming months is vindictive. That's what it's saying. But it also highlights that students who will be sitting their GCSEs could also face disruption. And the prize for front page pun of the day is won by the Mail headline, who accompanies a picture of the abseiling Princess of Wales with her royal harness. Yeah, that's quite good. That's quite good, yes. All right, the I. NHS doctors stranded in Sudan after refusal for an airlift. Let's see, the Sudan crisis still carrying on with the paramilitaries having a go at one another there, and everybody else getting caught in this crossfire. And there are NHS doctors stranded in Sudan, and they've been refused an airlift. And what's that all about? Well, it appears they don't have UK citizenship. So they're being barred from getting on UK airlifts out of Khartoum. The paper says that the government has decided that opening up Khartoum evacuation flights to the doctors who only have visas to work in the UK but no nationality rights is to expect embassy assistance would be too complex in the limited time frame left to complete the operation safely. There we go, too complex, you see. Is the paperwork doesn't fit in. For God's sake, if you've got an emergency situation, it's an emergency. Throw everything out of the window and just get on with it. and then figure out the problems later. That is so typical of our government at the moment. So typical. Is they are so inward-looking. Is the one thing that they do. They studiously avoid doing anything that helps their constituents, the very people that they're there supposedly to help. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. The eye also takes a look at the claims about Health Secretary Steve Barclay, and is he a bullier? But his behaviour has not tipped over into bullying. The paper has decided. A Department of Health spokesperson said the department has not received any formal complaints about the minister. An ally of Barclay also told The Guardian the claims were totally untrue. So there you go. All sorts of let's point the finger. Let's yell at each other. It's all a bit much, isn't it? The Daily Telegraph, right? It's rather a very good looking lady, isn't she? My place in the coronation proves the king embraces diversity. I don't think it does anything of the sort, but she's a nice lady, and she's been invited to the coronation. She's a lord. Yes, she's a lord. She's a dame, I guess. And she's grateful, and I'm glad that she's grateful, and I'm glad that she's going to be there, and I'm glad that we've got such a smiling, nice face. But whether all the claims that she says is it proves that the king is embracing diversity and so on and so forth, well, that's something else. The former TV presenter, famously known by a generation for being a pioneering blackface on children's show Play School, will carry part of the ceremonials and ceremonial regalia. The paper says the Baroness tells the Telegraph if it sends out a clear message that diversity and inclusion is being embraced. I don't know if it says anything. I just think it's nice. Very nice. I'm all for it. Then we have to add on extravagant claims. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. What is 8:44? 8:44 it is. Right, the Times. Gambling curbs to save young from addiction. And which newspaper? The Times. Certainly gambling is a problem in our society. There's no doubt about that. The Times leads with the government announcing tougher gambling curbs. The fact that the under-25s will be treated very differently from older age groups is considered a bonus. This has been justified by ministers because they believe people in this age group are less able to regulate things as long as they've got diversity in the cabinet, in these committees. Well. Anyway, the ultimate is to save young people from gambling, and I believe me, you've got to have commitment and conviction to do that. The Guardian, watchdog. The Met may be failing to spot serial killers. The Guardian, as usual, seeks to attribute blame for this, and it has a go at all those people that don't think in the way that it does. So we needed to take this with a pinch of salt. However, the story has Hugh Grant on the front, grasping a phone. And it says he makes the front page of The Guardian as he attends the High Court, where he has accused the publisher of The Sun of just The Sun. I mean, just naughty things. The publisher denies the claims that it's let's see. It's a bit complicated, this one. Yeah, the publisher has denied the claims, and said it's a bunch of rubbish to all intents and purposes. I'm getting out of this one. It's too complicated for me. Financial Times: Tories to strike sunset clause from the bill to scrap EU law. Well, this is going to be a lot of stories are going to be at odds with one another as we start more and more the integration process of living through Brexit with the EU, which quite often I've found, because I've worked for the EU in the past, is that they are dogmatic without accepting responsibility if things go wrong. So I'm not terribly sympathetic to anything that EU has in its store. But the Tories are to strike sunset clause from the bill to scrap EU law. And essentially, what that's about is that if they scrap EU law to allow various things to happen, is that they would be restricted in what they can say or what they can do. And the paper is saying, no, they won't. They can get on with their daily lives and their daily work. I must say that Sunak is looking pretty worried there in the picture that I've got. And that really is the main headlines this morning. What's the time? It's 8:48. Well, 8:48, and we're motoring along very nicely. And we've got other things to do. Let's see whether we can. That's our usual tough thing of finding things. But who knows? We may be lucky, and not lucky there. That's for sure. But we'll have a little look around. We've got 1 or 2 minutes. All right. We are the 28th today. Yes, it is the 28th day of the 4th month in 2023. All right. I don't see the copy of the weather floating around anywhere, which is a bit of a pity. Because it's how I manage to lose it each and every day. I have no idea at all, none. What we need is we need 28.4. If anybody can see 28.4 on the screen, some people should get along very well. But let's take a look at what's in all the. These are brewers who've never seen so much demand for water in all their lives. It's quite amusing, really. Right, so 28. We're looking for. Well, yes, maybe we've got what we know we want. I'll take a chance.
know you live every day like it's your last.
Oh, we missed all that, didn't we? So let's play it again. God bless it. There we go.
I know you live every day like it's your last.
Did you ever? Did you ever hear such a uh, let's all right. So, I just don't know. Oh, there we go. There we go. Right. Oh, oh dear, 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 dear. We really are having a problem today, aren't we? It's, oh dear, dear. Uh, it is it's 9:01. Let's give up, and then in the next in 30 minutes' time, we'll come back with some people, hopefully, who will be making sense. It's just the way to treat it. I think that is the way to treat it. If only we can get this to actually make sense. Well, let's look at the weather, and then we can perhaps get back to proper times.
I know you live every day like it's your last.
Well, there we go. It's a bit of a mishmash towards the end there, but we're going to take our usual half-hour break, and then we will be back with more interesting material. And I say interesting material because it's always all interesting. It just certainly doesn't come out necessarily in the formats that we want or on the sequence we want. So just relax for 30 minutes, and then we will be here to pick up the pieces for you. Keith Hayes, Mirador Television, broadcasting out of the White Hart Hotel, and we are able to well, be reasonably kind and decent and generous to everybody. Ha 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 ha! And we'll try very hard to. Right. I'm wondering. I'm because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to look after the technicals and talk to you at the same time. I can go now, and so here we go. Toodle pip.